Hello everyone and welcome back to a new video. This will be my last part of my top 50 favourite films video series that I've been doing. So this will be obviously 40 to 50, the last 10. As I have mentioned in a previous video, this isn't a solid top 50 list. These are mainly ones that I have in my collection, because that's how I made this list, by looking at films in my collection thinking, oh yeah, I would give that 4 or 5 stars. These are all 4 or 5 stars films. So realistically, I might make another one this time next year when I have most of my top 50 films, if not all of them, real top 50. These are still, would more than likely be in top 100, 150 because I give them 4 to 5 stars. But there's so many films I've seen that I don't own yet that I can't think of that. I mean, there was a few that I haven't owned, that I don't own, that were at the start of the list, but not very many. But I want to try and make this list as varied as possible with different genres. I don't cover much horror because I'm not a massive fan of horror. The only big horror things I watch are Stephen King things, because I think he does mixes horror. He does it really well. I think I think he's just a really good author. I've just started one of his books, Dreamcatcher, which is my first book of his that I've read. Because until now I've not read lots for quite a while, but I thought I'd start a book, and Stephen King's one of the greats, so I thought I'd read one of his that I own. So Dreamcatcher, I've just started. I may read some more later on today. I'm filming this at about 7:30 because I wanted to get this last video out whilst I'm thinking of it and whilst there's still light outside. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of this video, and I'll go through my last bit of my top 50. Right, so coming in at number 40 is my favourite Quentin Tarantino film. When I've been watching other people's top 10 tag videos the last 2 weeks, this film has come across in one of the genres as most people's favourite film of that genre. For me, it wasn't. It would be in my top 5 of that genre, but it isn't my personal favourite in that genre, and that is Django Unchained, which is a lot of people's favourite Western films. Don't get me wrong, as I say, it is in my top 50, so I do still consider it to be a fantastic film. And as I said, this list isn't great, because I mean, this wouldn't be my second, even though in this list the only other Western I've really talked about is White Earp, which is my favourite Western. But there's Unforgiven. What other ones have I seen? Can't just be Unforgiven. There are other ones, but I can't think of them at the moment. But the main ones that come to mind are Unforgiven, White Earp, and this. But this is fantastic. I think this is probably one of Christoph Waltz's best performances. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is great as the villain in this. Jamie Foxx is perfectly cast. I would have liked to seen what Will Smith did with this, but saying that, we are supposed to be getting like a westerny, like a slave western type of film that's a bit similar to this, with Will Smith, called Emancipation. Hopefully soon, might film this year, but that might be just seeing what we could have got with this if it was Will Smith. But I think Jamie Foxx was perfect in this role anyway. And I do think it is a fantastic film, all in all, really. So yeah, Django Unchained. Next is my second favourite Jim Carrey film, and it's also my second favourite Kate Winslet film. And if you know what film these two were in together, then you'll know what film I'm talking about, and that is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is in one of these awful cases. I hate these cases. They seem to be releasing them more and more. I just don't know. I don't know what it is about them. I just don't really like them that much. Not much effort has gone into the actual Blu-ray case. But yeah, I think this is a fantastic film. Definitely Jim Carrey's second best performance. I think that he's much better when he does dramatic performances. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy a lot of his comedies. I love Dumb and Dumber, Liar Liar. I can't remember The Mask. I know I've seen it, and I know I did like it. I don't particularly like the Ace Ventura films. I don't think he did good. Yes Man's quite an underrated one of his. I think that's quite good. So, but I think he is generally a good actor. But this in the Truman Show, I think he shows that he can really act. Um, and I just think this is really good. Obviously, this was written by Charlie Kaufman, who also did Being John Malkovich, which is another great film that I must get at some point. I know there's an Arrow release, but you can also get a standard Blu-ray release, which I'm trying to look for a decent price. It keeps coming and going, and I keep missing out on it. But I will either get that or the Arrow release at some point. But this is a fantastic film about a couple, and the woman in the relationship decides I think they fall out, and she decides to get all of her memories of Jim Carrey's character wiped from her brain, so she doesn't recognize him, doesn't know who he is. And then he decides he wants to do the same in regards to her, but then whilst it's happening, he decides he doesn't want it to happen. And in his subconscious, with her help in his subconscious, it sounds a bit confusing, but it's not if you watch it. He tries to escape and stop it from happening, and I just think it's a lovely film and really, really well done. Next up, at number 40. Hang on, I've done this wrong. This isn't 40 to 50, this is 41 to 50. Apologies. So Django Unchained was 41, Eternal Sunshine was 42, this next one's 43. I messed that up a bit, but oh well, this isn't too professional. But 43 is The Goonies, which is just a great, great film, one of the great films. I would like to get this on 4K at some point. I think it would look good on 4K. Obviously, this is Richard Donner and produced by Steven Spielberg, and it is like a treasure adventure coming of age film, one of the best. I think this is probably for me the best coming of age film. I thought it was something moving around then, but it's just me. That's why I'm moving the case around. Sorry about that. But yeah, I do think this is just fantastic, and the amount of people that weren't that famous at the time of this film that had something to do. I mean, looking at the back, obviously you got Steven Spielberg, who was famous at this point, Richard Donner, who had probably only done Superman at this point, I think. You also have Frank Marshall, Kathleen Kennedy, obviously Star Wars, and who else? Chris Columbus, who's one of my favourite directors. He wrote the screenplay for this. But I just think this is a fantastic film, and I would definitely recommend those who haven't seen this to go and watch it, because it is great. It was on Netflix. This is where I did watch it before getting it on Blu-ray. I don't know if it is anymore, so don't quote me on that, but you can get it fairly cheap on Blu-ray, but it is worth it because it is a great film. Next up, at number 44 on my list, is one of my favourite films of 2019. It didn't come out until the first day, New Year's Day on 2020 here, and it was the first film I saw in cinemas last year, and one of the only films I saw, and that is Jojo Rabbit, obviously directed and starring Taika Waititi. I just think this is really good. I think it mixes comedy and drama very well. I just think Taika Waititi's style's very niche, I would say the word to use, different, unique. You don't see any of the film. You know, as soon as you put this film on, even if you didn't know Taika Waititi had directed it, you know it's a Taika Waititi film because it has that feel very similar to all of the Wes Anderson films. And to some degree, Tarantino's films are all got the same type of feeling to them, but this is fantastic. Great ensemble cast. Obviously, you've got Taika Waititi, Scarlett Johansson, Stephen Merchant, Sam Rockwell, Rebel Wilson, and then the young boy is Roman Griffin Davis. And you've also got Thomasin McKenzie, who plays the girl that hides under the stairs, the Jewish girl. But yeah, really good film. If you missed this somehow last year, I would go and I would recommend going and watching this. I do know that this has just got a 4K release, but I don't think I'll be getting it because I don't really see the point, to be honest. I mean, films like this, they're so new, you can't really notice the difference in 4K. Not me personally, I know others can, but unless it is a film that you definitely can see a clear difference, I'm not going to bother picking it up on 4K, and I've not really heard anything too big about this, the 4K release of this, but yeah, Jojo Rabbit, great film. And then at number 45 is The Last Samurai, one of Tom Cruise's best films. I believe it was for a Magpie movie, Geordie Poole's latest competition. He asked, what is your favourite war film that isn't like a big hitter? And I gave this as the answer because not many people really think of this, and they don't really think of it as a war film, but it is. It's about the Civil War. Obviously, Tom Cruise plays Nathan Algren. He's like a captain in the US Confederate Army, I believe. I don't know what side it is, but he is. He was a captain, and he gets taken in by the samurai. Basically, they don't kill him; they take him in, and he helps train them to fight against the army, because the army are just trying to wipe out the samurai. And I just think it's fantastic. And the battle scene for the last half an hour is probably the best battle scene I've seen in a film. And I just really love this film, and I can't wait to rewatch it again soon. Next up, number 46 is my second or first. It's very tied with Little Women. Favourite film of 2019, and that is Motherless Brooklyn, which is a crime noir thriller drama set in 1950s Brooklyn, obviously as the title suggests, about a private detective who suffers from Tourette's and is trying to solve the murder of his mentor, played by Bruce Willis. This is also directed by Edward Norton, as well as starring him in the lead role. Also has Willem Dafoe, Alec Baldwin, and Gugu Mbatha-Raw. I just think it's really good. I think the screenplay is really good, and it is just a really good film. Underrated. I don't think this gained a lot of attention when it came out. I think it came out physically about a year ago. I think it was last April this came out, but it came in cinemas in December 2019, and I did go and watch it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I've not seen it since then, but I will be rewatching it soon. I have now got it on physical, so it is one I will go back and rewatch because it was really enjoyable, and I would recommend it. Motherless Brooklyn. Then at number 47 is my second favourite Jake Gyllenhaal film / performance, and that is Nightcrawler, which he did 6 months prior to my favourite Jake Gyllenhaal film, which is Southpaw. And the performances in each of those films are polar opposite performances. You wouldn't even know it's the same person, or you do, but if you know what I mean, they look completely different. I mean, in this, he's like a skinny weirdo, and in Southpaw, he's like a really buff boxer. But this is really good drama / thriller about a loner, as I said, who decides he hasn't got a job and he's looking for a job, and he decides he's just going to go. He sees one day an accident, and these men go in to film the accident, and he decides that's what he's going to do, and he sends off the footage to a newsroom to show on the news, and gets paid for it. But then he goes too far, and things get too serious, and bad stuff happens. And I just think it's really well done, and one that you should definitely watch. I definitely recommend. Then number 48 is one of my favourite rom-coms, and that is Notting Hill with Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant. I just think this is really well done. I believe this was written by Richard Curtis, who obviously did Love Actually. He created Mr. Bean, 4 Weddings and a Funeral, About Time he's done. I think he did The Boat That Rocked. He wrote Yesterday. He's done loads. He's great. He's a legend, I would say, of British. He's a British legend. But yeah, this is just a great film. Obviously about an American Hollywood actress who falls in love with this nobody bookkeeper in Notting Hill. And yeah, I just really like it. I like the interaction between Julia Roberts and Hugh Grant's character, and all the other characters, the side characters. They're really good in it. And it's just one that I would definitely really recommend. One of Julia Roberts' best. Obviously, you've got others like Pretty Woman and Erin Brockovich, but this is another one of her really good films that I would recommend. Apologies. Only 2 more now. Sorry, this video's gone on a bit longer than I thought it would, but I have wanted to talk quite a bit, and it is starting to get dark, so I do need to hurry up. You've probably noticed as this video's gone on that the light is going slowly, so I do apologise. I will try not to make another video at night again. I just thought because I had time, I would, so I wanted to get this out. But number 49 is Philadelphia. Uh, to me, Tom Hanks' second best performance. Obviously, at this point, you know what my favourite Tom Hanks film is. This probably is my favourite Denzel Washington film, though. I think he's really good in this, obviously. Tom Hanks plays a lawyer who is diagnosed with AIDS, and then I think he's wrongfully terminated, and no lawyer will defend him because he's trying to sue the company he worked for, and no lawyer will defend him until he goes to Denzel Washington's character, who's a lawyer, but he doesn't really specialize in that, and he doesn't really want to take on his case because he doesn't want to be associated with that. But he does agree eventually to help him with his case, and starts to understand how serious AIDS is, and it's just a really good film, and it is very sad, poignant film, and definitely would recommend. This is another one I must get on 4K at some point because I'm sure it looks great. But yeah, Philadelphia. And then the last film, this has been a long time, over I think this is 5 videos I've had to do now. But the last film that comes in number 50 is my second favourite, or maybe third, Robin Williams film, and that is Patch Adams. I know a lot of people really love this film, and I am one of them. I think this is just a really inspiring film. I just love that it's not just a comedy, it's a mix of comedy and drama, and it can be sad at times, it can be really funny at times. And it's just a great story with great acting. And I was watching earlier today one of Robin Williams' interviews when he was on Graham Norton, and he is just. I think he was not just the funniest man alive, I think he was probably one of the greatest men alive. And it's just so sad that he's no longer with us because he could just make a room laugh. Like, I was watching him, and it was just him and Graham Norton, and he just led, and he could work with anything. And if there could be one person that I could be in a room with and just have like interview or just sit with, I would definitely choose Robin Williams, even though, as I say, he's no longer with us. But yeah, great film. Definitely check out Patch Adams if you haven't seen it, because it is fantastic. And that will do it for my top 50 videos. I have got an idea of what I'll do for my next video. I don't know how it will turn out because I won't have anything. Well, I could, I suppose, try and find films to show. I don't want to give away what the video is. You just have to wait and see. I'll do that in the next couple of days, hopefully. It is a top 5. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching if you've watched this right to the end. I'm sure most people haven't. I'm sure most people probably just watched the start and then decided that they didn't want to watch it because it's almost 20 minutes long and it is me just waffling on. And I'm sorry that I do that, but sometimes I just go off on a tangent and don't realise I'm doing it. But yeah, anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy this video, don't make sure to give it a like. But if you didn't like the video, you can dislike it. But if you do dislike it, please let me know in the comments why you didn't like the video, and I will try and improve on it in the next video. Also, comment down below anything about any of these films, if you've seen them, if you want to see them, if you want to know a bit more about my thoughts on them, or anything. I will always get back to anyone that comments in my comments, because I appreciate everyone that takes the time to comment. Also turn the notification bell on so you know when I post videos, because I don't have a schedule and they could be up at any time during any day. And also subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And until next time, take care everyone. Goodbye.